Hey guys, it's a Noob Gamer here, coming back at you with another episode of Banished. We're going to go ahead and load back in here. I got a little bit of feedback on my last video, and I want to clarify some things. I didn't really explain what Banished was. Banished is a city builder game, obviously, because we were building a city last episode, but it's a little bit more than that. It's a resource management, like survival simulator. And, go ahead and find my city. Oh lord, I've lost it. There it is. But anyway, it's a resource management. Like as you can see, like we have limited forests and limited animals, limited basically everything. And the idea is that you have to balance all of these things. And as you grow larger and larger and larger, obviously it becomes a little bit harder to balance. So there are some tricks that you can do to make it a little bit easier, and I'll go ahead and go over those as it becomes appropriate in the gameplay. But as you can kind of see from the last episode, one of the things that we have done here is we've spread out the types of food that we are relying on, and that's because as we continuously rely on food in an area, it depreciates actually. So every year there'll be less and less, and you can actually hunt all of the animals on the map to extinction if you hunt too much, and you can fish all of the fish out of an area if you fish too much, and if you farm the same land for too many seasons, then it will become arid and you won't be able to use it anymore. So what we've kind of set up here is the ability to, continuously expand into this wilderness and hopefully find more and more resources to rely on and kind of stay centralized to this one area. That's the plan at least. So we'll see how that breaks down. But let's go ahead and get started here. I'm checking all my resources, and kind of low on stone and wood, so I might want to go pick that up. But stone's kind of tricky because as we run out in this little valley right here, it's going to be harder and harder to get your people to walk from your city, to further and further distances to pick up stone, and it becomes more resource intensive to get. So we might have to put a quarry in pretty soon, actually, because one of the strategies that I play with is I trade a lot. I use a lot of firewood for trade, and that means that you can get by with less people and stone houses, which allow you to have more tradable goods. So that's where we'll be heading this game, I think. For the moment, though, we're just going to go ahead and collect stone so we can continue to build wood houses, because we do need more people. You do want to keep this population under check in Banished, because, like I said, you can... populations kind of grow exponentially, and they can sneak up on you pretty quickly, so you want to kind of pay attention to that. I see here now that we kind of have a full storage yard, so I'm going to go ahead and set up another one. And I'm going to bring it way over here. And the idea being is that we want to kind of keep our resources spread out, so if we have a natural disaster, we won't lose everything, or if we want to go ahead and expand over here, people aren't walking all of this distance to come pick up over here. So as this fills up, the people automatically go, and it just kind of spreads the travel distance out over the period of the game. So it's a good little idea, at least. So I'll go ahead and pick up more wood, and we're going to stick to this side of the river because I want to keep this... I'm kind of letting this grow. It's got these little trees right here, and the more mature it becomes, the more wood you can get out of it with a forester's lodge, and the more food you can gather with a gatherer's hut. So we'll go ahead and expand over here later, but not for now. For now, we're just going to go ahead and pick up these trees. And I don't think I have to be too careful because I don't think my people can cross this river, but I've had problems where, like, they won't collect any more resources because, they're trying to get across the river and they can't, so they just walk like a ridiculous distance to get around it, and then they turn around. So I kind of want to avoid asking them to go over here until we have a bridge. Storage yard full. Oh yes, and then so I've been relying on these carts to store my food. Get rid of that. As you can see, these carts are filling up pretty quickly, so we're going to lay out a barn, and if you play on lower difficulties, you should be familiar with those, but these are great. Again, keep them spread out because natural disasters will wipe out your supplies, and then you don't want to run out of food and have your population starve after one tornado. So a lot of it's kind of why I installed this mod to get these carts, because it helps reduce the travel distance between the houses and the food sources, and it makes these guys, like the food guys, more efficient in collecting food. Go and bump that up because we've got a lot more laborers now. So one of the things that I am kind of skimping on right now, and it's a choice, it's something that you can do and you probably should do, but I'm not doing right now, is educating your citizens. You want to get that started pretty early. I don't really like my starting location, so I think that I'm going to have to stay smaller than necessary, so we'll go ahead and deal with uneducated people for now, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that, and probably sometime by the end of the episode put in a school so that, you know, as these guys die, as the educated people who came here die, these people don't screw up the whole, you know, culture, civilization, because they have a tendency to do that when they're a bunch of uneducated Hicks. This game is an analog to real life in that way. I'm gonna go put another house in. I should check before we finish. Yes, we have a female and a male. So yes, that's gonna go ahead and be another family producing structure, and I'm putting it over here because this is another food source. So we want to keep this, like, the fishermen employed, and want to make sure that they're relying on the fish and instead of on this food source. Because if too many people rely on one food source and it's decommissioned for whatever reason, then they kind of starve to death before they can figure out, hey, I have to go over here to get food. They're not too smart in that aspect, so even with the schools. At the moment, I'm doing pretty good on resources, so I might actually go ahead and put that school in. The reason why it's kind of dangerous to put these in, especially early, is because you end up losing your laborers for about 6 years. These guys will turn into laborers at about 10 years old, but if we put in school, they won't turn into laborers until 16 or 17. I'm not exactly sure. So you hit this point where if any of these guys die, then you end up running out of essential services. But we're going to try. I think it's worth it right now. And we'll find out. Another little trick here is don't cut down your trees. It's alright if your village is surrounded by trees. It's actually pretty good because your food gatherers can collect resources pretty easily, and the only real natural disaster you're going to have to worry about in forests are fires. But if this city was hit by a fire right now, it'd be game over. We'd have to reload. There is it's pretty unforgiving in that aspect. Make sure we have enough. Yeah, we have enough stuff, so I'm going to prioritize this as well, because I don't want any children to grow up before we get started. Luckily, we have another worker that just matured, so that can be our teacher, because you're going to need to give up one of your employees to be a teacher folk. So in this downtime, I'll go ahead and say one of the other things that I really like about this game. There are a lot of mods, and you can actually change pretty much every aspect of the game, add more buildings. I've got a lot more buildings added. Bridges and tunnels, things like that. General stores, we'll get into those later. Just things to kind of make the game a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun to play. Everybody has their own style, so you might want to stick to the vanilla game, or you can check out the mods. They're all free on the Steam Workshop. I suggest modding. I think it's one of the better ideas for this game, but you know, teach their own. I've stuck to keep it as vanilla as possible. I don't want to add any game-breaking things, so I don't really use the extra wood or extra stone mods. I think it takes, you know, too much of the skill out of the game, and this game is a lot about, you know, things can fall apart pretty quickly, and you got to pay attention to them. So that's about all I can say about that. I'm sure you guys will see that eventually. Luckily, our barn is almost finished. They don't need any workers. They can just be a barn, which is good for us. We're looking pretty decent on food. It's continuously growing, and that's a good sign, even though we've added more houses. One of the reasons why I bring up the houses so much in expansion is because when they come, you can see, like, they take when they move in, they take a lot of food, and they sit on this food for like a long time. So if you triple or quadruple expand with houses, you end up losing about 1,500 to 2,000 food, and then the rest of your people can't get food from those houses. So if they haven't stocked up, then they end up starving, even though there's plenty of food to go around. It's just unevenly distributed. And bringing that up, I think I'm going to go ahead and add another house here, because I'm working my way up now to a trading post, and I'm going to go ahead and stick this along this river. That's why I put this fisherman hut, so I can actually get it on this river, because they're going to come down this river, and I believe that they'll come down this river as well. But the closer you are to the main source, like the main highway, the less time it takes to get your traders. And the traders are good because they're random. You don't want to cycle through most of the ones that you don't need in order to get what you need. And what we want right now is animals and perhaps seeds, but I usually go with animals first, and I'll tell you why when we get to that point. I don't see why we can't put it in right now. Oh, alright, well. I can't put it there. Can I put it here? Yes, okay. And now we're going to have to put in a bridge, because this is over here. Luckily, they have those. And I want to go ahead and use a stone bridge, just because I like the stone bridge. Now, this is a mod, but I just think it looks cool, and I don't want to have to add in bridges later, because they disrupt essential services if you only have one bridge. Go ahead and do that. And yes. Now, roads aren't essential, but they're pretty much essential in the sense that your people move a lot faster along them, and it kind of directs them to where to go. So if I left this trading post over here without a road, they would still get back and forth. They would just be a lot slower, and I should probably have put the bridge in right here, but maybe I'll just put in a wooden bridge for now while they build a little temporary structure. Alright, maybe not. Yeah, I guess I can't. Whatever. They'll get around to that. And now that I've gotten access to this side of the river too, we can actually pick up the stone and this iron, and that'll be actually a pretty good idea, because we're going to put a storage yard by the trading post. And if I plan my things right, I can actually do that first. Let's see if I put right here. Yes, put one right here. And I always go to 6x6 because I find that creates like a good balance between bouncing resources, and later on we're going to need to bounce resources back and forth. So I feel like it's always a good idea to do that, but if you have a different size, then go for it. I know it doesn't really matter much right now, but a lot of this game is planning for the future, and I've failed so many times and done so many stupid things that I just kind of know what to avoid. Sometimes. I am still a noob, and I will always be a noob. I'm a proud noob in that sense. So I'm going to go ahead and check on here, and I want to see how much leather I have. I only have 10. I wonder if these carts have any in them. Yes, they have 54. So we actually have plenty of leather now. So one of the other things that you're going to have to add in And we're just kind of getting all of the essential stuff up right now. Later on, you're going to have to add doubles and triples, and as you expand, more people are going to need more resources. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and put in one of everything that we need, and we're going to have to put in some clothing, some tailors. I forgot where they are. Somewhere. Oh my god, I think they're... Sorry, my mods have me all confused. Oh, here. Perfect. And I'm putting this here because I want to draw the leather from this, which the hunting cabin has been dropping it off. The hunting cabin should always drop it off here. No, that's not correct. That's not, yeah. So the hunting cabin should always drop it off here because it's the closest, and put it here, and then he'll pick, the tailor will pick his materials up from this barn right here in order to make the clothes. So it's the shortest travel distance possible, and it just kind of adds to efficiency. If you put it, for example, over here, then he will empty this cart out, but then afterwards he's going to be making that travel distance. And your guys are less productive when they're traveling along the roads. They spend only so much time per day working, and if that time is spent traveling, then it's spent traveling. So you want to kind of avoid that if possible. Still running out of stone, unfortunately. I guess I could probably pick this stuff up. I'll wait for everybody to finish construction. The laborers are the ones that bring the materials, and then the builders build. And I'm cutting actually another builder right now because I'm out of workers. As you can see, we've capped at 23, and we have 8 children right now. And that's actually really bad. We have 17 versus 23. So right now 23 people are providing the food for 40, and you kind of want to keep that ratio about 70%. So we're actually having too many kids. Once these 8 people become educated, we'll be alright, but we are going to see a dip in this food, unfortunately. And some people might starve, but there's nothing that can be done about that. Maybe cut one of him, put one over here. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to cut this problem off. Hopefully we won't run out of food. Hopefully some of these guys will actually start going to work, and then we can drop some more fisheries or whatever. But there isn't very many, like there aren't many options left for easy food except for this forest right here. So we probably are going to be headed up in this direction, and then we're going to have to get seeds or farm animals from our trader. Oh, sorry, it's paused. And this is going to build super slowly. In fact, I don't have enough stone to build it, but I do have these guys picking up this stone, so they should get there eventually. All of my laborers now are in school, which is kind of dumb, but I guess child labor is also kind of dumb. A 16-year-old student, that's good. $15-year-old student, so we're actually doing all right. I think the staggering of the expansions. This house was too fast. Shouldn't have built this house. Hopefully she hangs out with this neighbor dude right here, or this one. That's gonna be good for society. Anyway, I staggered my houses so the children were staggered as well, and I think that's gonna benefit us a lot. Probably did expand at the right time for this, because it doesn't look like we have hit that point where we're losing food yet. Although it is winter time, and you usually see like the big drop right about now in late winter, and it'll go through mid-spring or so because your guys have just started to pick up the new food. All in all, we're doing pretty decent. I am I am running out of, like, the biggest resource that I'm running out of right now is land. So once we're done with this, there's really not going to be another option except farming. That's the disadvantage of being in the mountainous terrain. That's why it's more difficult. Land is definitely a resource in this game, and managing it correctly is. You want to leave areas of nature. You can't fill in the entire map, because if you do, you will be too topsy-turvy with your resources. There just won't be enough to manage. And oftentimes, as you expand, you'll see that, like, there just isn't a good place for things. We're trying to avoid that in the planning of the city, trying to create the best possible spots. But as we put in neighborhoods and stuff like that, it just kind of becomes impossible. I'm looking over this, and stone is the biggest thing that we're missing still. We haven't collected any of this, and I'm kind of getting concerned about that. I don't want to start asking them to collect this stuff over here first. They might anyway, but it's actually convenient. I didn't pick those up. I know that we're about to hit our wood cap, but we're definitely going to keep going past that, because there's no limit on wood. You can turn wood into any tradable item, so we just want to continue to grow. He is out of leather already. It's pretty unfortunate. Oh yeah, okay, so what happened here is that we only had about 50 leather, and they use clothes pretty slowly, so one hunter's lodge is typically enough to service a town of about 100 people. Especially once you get wool later on. But at the moment, he's trying to get to his cap, and so he used all of the resources to get to his cap. So he's going to have to wait for the Hunter's Lodge to kill more animals. And we get about 12, I guess, 12 a year, so that should be decent enough. I don't know how long clothes last exactly, but I know that I usually don't have a problem with it. I know it looks really close, but I don't really know if there's any reason to jump over here except just to grab these. Maybe I'll put in a wooden bridge, grab all this crap, and then, leave. Take down the bridge, disassemble it. And one of the things that I do have, and this is a mod, I don't know if it's game breaking or not, kind of feel like it might be a little bit, but I can put in tunnels to give me access to other places. I'm not going to do that right now because it takes a lot of resources, but if I want to move down here, eventually I can just use a tunnel. I added those more for aesthetic purposes. I don't really like to change the essence of the game too much, if that makes sense, so I would only use it if I absolutely had to, or if the city was already established and I just kind of wanted to make it look pretty. And that is one thing that I will do with my banished cities after I feel like they're large enough to make me happy, is I'll just go ahead and delete some of the old stuff and put in new stuff, make it look nice. I have lots of decorations, and the decoration mods are pretty cool. Add random stuff. And I do appreciate that. So we're still looking good on food. We're still looking good on everything. We actually had our first couple of students graduate, so we've made it over that hump now. I'm not too sure what I want to do now. If I want to go ahead and start quarrying and changing these houses over to stone, or if I want to finish the trading post and make more woodcutters. And I think that's the route that I'm going to go. The stone houses they benefit you more in the long run, but only if you are already trading. Otherwise, wood is basically, it's just wood. You have to do something with it in order for it to be useful. So we are collecting stone again, so we're gonna go ahead and finish this off pretty soon. I can bump up more builders, and I think that they'll continue to pick up. Hopefully, they'll continue to pick up the stuff. I can actually show you guys a little little trick. If you need to move these, for example, you can do that, and they'll pop them over. They'll pick this stuff up eventually when they're done queuing, whatever. They'll pick it up and move it somewhere else. Bouncing resources is very helpful, and if you ever do end up with kind of like a useless storage yard, you can just delete it, and the guys will move all of their stuff over. So we're going to check on the length of this video because I feel like I've gone about 20 minutes, and I kind of want to keep these to 20. Oh yeah, I'm gone to about 25 minutes, so I'm a little bit over. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. I want to say that oh, man, sorry y'all. Well, as I thank you guys for watching, obviously, and I hope you guys stick with it because we're kind of expanding now at a rapid pace. We should get up to 100 population pretty soon. It's a nice little milestone. That's when you can start adding in government buildings and things like that. So hopefully we'll get some farms next episode, or figure out what we're going to do with agriculture. Agriculture is it's a way to go for food. It's the best possible way to get food, but it requires a lot of land. So, and you have to bounce farms. You can't use the same farm over and over again. So you're going to have to build about 2 times as many farms, sometimes 3 times as many farms as you actually need if you want to continuously sustain a very large population. But we'll worry about that next episode. So until then, thank you guys for watching. If it's your first time, I appreciate you checking it out. And if you could, just leave a like or subscribe down there at the bottom. Maybe a comment, say hi to me. That would I'll always reply back to you guys. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a great one. Bye-bye now.